Hello friends, this is Pastor Daniel Gouveia. Thank you so much for checking out this review. Today I'm taking a look at Thomas Nelson New King James Personal Size Large Print Reference Bible with end of verse references. Beautiful, gorgeous Bible comes in this beautiful box. This Bible is also in the Premier Collection. I love the Bibles in the Premier Collection by Thomas Nelson, the ones by Zondervan as well. Here's a look at the back of the cover and some of the features of this Bible. I've read some comments online of people who are really looking forward to this Bible, so here it is. Comes wrapped in this beautiful black paper with the Premier Collection seal, which is a gray or silver sticker with the Premier Collection logo. I've loved the Bibles in the Premier Collection since they started coming out. Now the cover is brown goatskin leather, and I have to say that I love the brown goatskin leather by Thomas Nelson in the Premier Collection. I absolutely love it. These are some of my favorite Bibles. This cover has a smooth grain, and it's a tiny little grain, not very pronounced, but it's there. You can see it. The grain is not super consistent, which is a good sign. You can see here in the spine how in the top part the grain is less pronounced, and here at the bottom it's more pronounced. There's even some inconsistencies here, more noticeable in the back. So actually that's a good thing. Sometimes these Bibles appear to be a little bit cookie cutter, and this one does not. So that's a good sign. And it is perimeter stitched, and the spine has 5 raised hubs. It has Holy Bible in gold and New King James Version and Thomas Nelson at the bottom. Beautiful, beautiful Bible. It is kind of chunky. Now, this is not a Thinline. It is a thick Bible, not super thick, not as thick as the single column. Let me show it to you. This is the single column, also in the Premier Collection by Thomas Nelson, and you can see it is thicker, way thicker actually. So yeah, but this one is thick nonetheless. It is Smithsoon or Smithsoon, however you prefer to call it. Has a dark brown headband and a dark brown tail band. Has 3 double satin ribbons. They are long 8-inch ribbons with a diagonal cut. There's a brown one, a red one, and a blue one. Baby blue or light blue. Very beautiful ribbons. I love them. The gilding is red and they're gold. It's not a very deep shade of red, not at all. It's very light red. And the gilding is very, very well done. I believe you can see it in the image. It is superb. Very, very nice job in this gilding. You can see there the marks of the signatures. So this Bible is very well built. Has a nice yap. It is a generous yap. Not a full yap, but a generous yap. These are actually my favorite kinds of yaps. Maybe a tad a little bit longer, but not a full yap. I'm not crazy about full yaps. So yeah, I love these yaps. Beautiful. So the liner is dark brown, very supple, very nice. Has a gilt line around the perimeter, solid gold gilt line. Corner work is also nice. You can see it there. It is edge lined, and this makes the Bible more durable, and it's easier for the Bible to lay flat. All right, so you open it up, you have these initial sheets of thick paper, then the presentation page, still in very thick paper. Title page, the Holy Bible. You have here the information page. These Bibles are printed in China. You have the table of contents. A very short preface. This is the abbreviated preface. Then the Old Testament title page, and we get to the text. Now, before talking about the text block, just a little word about the paper. This is 36 GSM European Bible paper. I love this paper. I have written in this paper. I have underlined and marked Bibles with this paper. Takes the ink super well. It is opaque. It is very easy to turn. Smells good to my nose, and I love it. Very, very nice. Now, for the text block, it is 10.5 comfort print font, specifically designed by 2K Denmark for the New King James by Thomas Nelson. It's a gorgeous font, has tons of space between the lines. I was reading, spent some time with this Bible and with a cup of tea because my throat is not doing so well. Been coughing a lot lately, but I had a wonderful time reading from this Bible. It is super, super readable. So no issues there. You will love reading from this Bible. The book titles and the subheadings are in black. The subheadings are always in caps, as you can see throughout the Bible. Black and always in caps. Now let me get back to Genesis 1. Chapter numbers and verse numbers also in black throughout the Bible. It is a verse by verse. Again, I love verse by verse Bibles. And this one has references at the end of the verse. Now, of course, not every verse has a reference or a couple of references or more than two at the end, but some verses do, and some verses have a lot of references at the end. Let me show you an example here in Genesis 31, verse 24. You see just how many cross-references. They're all in the book of Genesis. Sometimes it's different books, but you see how many they have here at the end of this verse. Let me show you another example here in Acts chapter 10, verse 48. You see all the end references here. Verse 47 as well. Acts 13, verse 22. You see here all the references at the end of the verse. So again, not a ton of references, but there's a few, sometimes from more than one book. So yeah, I don't find the end of verse references distracting, not at all. I don't find they're excessive, so they don't bother you if you're just using this Bible as a reader. That has been my experience. Now, the verse numbers are fairly big. I would say they're even a little bit bigger than the text, so they stand out. To me, these are great. I really love them. I love verse numbers, so yeah. The Bible does have a poetic setting. When you have poetry, you see it here in Deuteronomy. Let me show you Job, the Psalms, Songs of Solomon. Now, when you have letters in the text, you see that they also have a special formatting, and same goes for the Ten Commandments. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful text. I really love it. Now, an interesting detail is that even though you have the cross-references at the end of the verse, the translation notes are at the bottom of the page, and they are aligned to the left, both in the right and left pages. If you're reading the translation notes in a page on your right, it will be aligned to the left. And if you're reading it in a page on your left, it is also aligned to the left. Now, it is not as far out as the text itself, goes in a little bit, but here is where you will find them at the end of the page. There's a lot of translation notes, so I really, really love this format because I actually think that the translation notes and the cross-references should be separate. Makes it way easier to navigate and to use. Now, for the page numbers, you will find them at the top of the page in the outer corner, and they are right there close to the book and chapter and verse indication in the page, and they are separated from that by this vertical line. So again, on the right if you have a right page, and on the left if you are looking at a left page. Looks really, really nice. Very beautiful. Now, this is a red letter Bible. I did spend some time reading in the New Testament. Goes all the way through Revelation. I did not find great inconsistency in the red, so very, very nice. I love this shade of red. It's dark. The whole Bible has an awesome font, and in terms of printing is great. It's like bold font, and you see it and you read it very, very well. Now, the verse numbers are still in black when you have the red letter for the words of Jesus, so they stand out a little bit more, and I just love it. Of course, the end references also stand out. They're also in black when you have a red letter, so they stand out really, really good. Now, for quotations from the Old Testament, you will find them with quotation marks, and if they happen to be in a poetic setting in the Old Testament, you will have them in the New Testament in a poetic setting as well. If they are not in a poetic setting in the Old Testament, then in the New Testament, they will not be in a poetic setting. I can show you an example here in Matthew chapter 1. verse 23, quoting Isaiah 7:14, and you see here quotation marks, but not in a poetic setting, because in the Old Testament, in the book of Isaiah, this specific passage is not in a poetic setting. But here you have another one, in chapter 2 of Matthew, verse 6, quoting Micah, chapter 5, verse 2, and you see here a poetic setting, because in Micah, it's also in a poetic setting. And so you get to the end of Revelation, and after the biblical text, you have a concordance. Now, the font is tiny, and there is a lot of information in this concordance. A lot of references, really. There's 43 pages of concordance, and again, the font is really tiny, so you do have a lot of information here. Then you have a note regarding the type, which all the Premier collections do. Love it. And then you have 7 maps in this shiny glossy paper, but not too shiny. But it is glossy paper, okay? And then just an end sheet, and that's the end of the Bible. Now, if I could change one thing in this Bible, it would definitely be give it a little bit more space in the gutter and just a tad bit more space in the margin. I also prefer the leather of the previous editions of brown goatskin leather in the Premier collection. At least the copies I have, the Thinline Premier, I love this cover. Just feels a little bit thicker to me, and the grain is more pronounced, and the leather just feels a little bit more high quality. I don't know why. Maybe it's just my impression. Same goes for the single column, this one even more. I just love this leather. I love the grain. I love the feel of this leather. And these later publications, I just reviewed the verse-by-verse center column reference Bible. Gorgeous, awesome Bible. I love it. And I said in that video, and I maintained that if I'd had to choose one of the center column reference Bibles, I would probably choose this one with a brown goatskin. But still, I would prefer it with a leather that looks more like this. So that's my 2 complaints. Have to be honest, right? Actually, I want to thank Thomas Nelson for sending me this Bible in exchange for an honest review. This was my honest review. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I want to encourage you to read and study your Bible. No matter what Bible you read it with faith, read it with prayer, and remember that Jesus loves you. Jesus was crucified for you, and he was crucified for me. And if you have reached this point of the video, kudos to you, because we live in a society where we really don't have that much of an attention span, and we just go from one video to the next. Yeah, congratulations. You watched a very long video and you reached the end. Ta-da!